So the first element of the import tariffs is your main electricity tariff. Now this is different, or it's split all of the imports you'll see as you work through between these electricity tariffs, but also distribution charges, transmission charges, and also fixed capacity costs that are related also to the distribution network operator. So over time you'll sort of get to work out how these work. But essentially your electricity tariff that you enter here is, number one, anything that is not related to I suppose a color or a particular period of the day that distribution network operators typically put a color to, so green, yellow and red, and those will come through in the distribution tariff that we'll see next. Also, nothing that's related to transmission tariffs, such as peak costs, so peak power at a particular cost at a particular time of the day and year, and also specific transmission tariffs. So just to sort of give you an example of the different things that you can bring into your electricity tariff, got this one from Orsted, which is a pass-through tariff. But what you'll see is you'll have things like day, night tariffs, commodity charges. We do bring into this one, say, distribution loss charges or transmission loss charges, because those are sort of not related to a particular time of the year or time of the day, potentially. They're sort of across the board. But again, settlement charges. In the UK, we have things like BSUOS and AAH, EDC, other charges related to the feed-in tariff, contract for differences, basically as complex as you want to make it. So some of these tables may only literally be two or three lines long. Others you can sort of build up with these more complex fees, and what that enables you to do is then break down and see exactly how much of the money that your client is spending is on these different elements of their tariff. Within the table you can change the start day and the start month and the end day and end month. So effectively you can sort of say, well, actually I only want this to be in January and February, and so therefore you just put a different start of January, you put your end as February. You can also change which parts of the day, which times of the day, so you can choose your start time and end time. So if you had something that was happening between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock, you can then put those different times in there. You can also change which days of the week the different component parts are applicable to, so either all days or just weekdays or weekends or specific days of the week. And then you put in your rate, and the rate is always in your currency. So in the UK that's in pounds, so it's not in pennies, so you need to make sure that it's shown as pounds. Same in US dollars or Aussie dollars or yen or euros, etc. And then you can put also the unit. So some of your component parts, or most of them, will be based on the kilowatt hours that you consume. So we would choose kilowatt hours. But sometimes you have reactive charges, and you can put these in the kVARH unit. But other units may also be per day. So for instance, if we go down here, we can see that we have sort of some charges which are based on per day, so metering charges, or some that are based on per month. So we can choose those as well. And then finally we have this percentage of kilowatt hour applied to rate. So effectively, sometimes you have line loss charges applied, and so actually they will charge you on 103 or 104% of the energy actually used. So the default that will be in these tables is 100%, but sometimes you may want to increase that. So here we have BSUOS charges, and there's 104 point something percent. Also, for instance, in the UK we have the CCL charges, and those can be on 20% or 100% of your total use. So again, you can put that in here. If you create a new tariff, then you will, create a new tariff, you will essentially see that you will start off with one row. You can then add rows to this, and if you make a mistake with any rows, you can just then delete that row. And then when you're completed and you've entered a name for your particular tariff, then you can click Save and Continue. Please give us a call if you've got any issues with this, but hopefully that's helped you out to sort of start off. Thanks.